Okay, let's jump right in. If you're a sole trader or a landlord here in the UK, listen up because the way you do your taxes is about to change forever. We're talking about a brand new system that's just around the corner, and honestly, if you miss the deadlines, it could lead to some pretty serious penalties.
So, what's the big deal? Well, right now, you probably submit one tax return a year, right? Pretty straightforward. Under this new system, though, that one single submission, it explodes into 5. Yep, 5. This isn't just some minor adjustment. It is a complete rethink of how you have to manage your finances.
And here's the real kicker. Even though this is a massive, mandatory change, some recent research shows that almost half of the people who are going to be affected don't even know it's coming. That is a huge awareness gap. So look, if this is all news to you, you are definitely not the only one.
All right, so let's get into what this 5 submission year actually means. The official name for the whole project is Making Tax Digital, or MTD for short. And believe me, it's going to require a big shift in how you handle your business records.
So, what does making tax digital actually mean in the real world? Well, it pretty much boils down to 3 key things. First, your records have to be digital. The old shoebox full of receipts, that's not going to cut it anymore. Second, you have to submit updates to HMRC, the UK's tax office, every single quarter. And third, you have to use specific government-approved software to do all of it.
Okay, let's break down those 5 submissions. You've got 4 quarterly updates. These are basically just snapshots of your income and your expenses. Then you've got one final declaration at the end of the year, which is a bit like the annual return you do now. It's a huge change in behavior, and you have to remember, missing any one of these 5 deadlines could land you with a penalty.
I know. This all sounds like a ton more work. So the natural question is, why? Why is this all happening now? Why such a disruptive change? Well, there's the official reason HMRC gives, and then there's the financial one.
So the official line from HMRC is that this whole thing is designed to make your life easier. Yeah, really. Their thinking is that if you spread the work out across the year, it's better than that mad dash we all do in January.
But let's be real for a second. Does going from 1 deadline to 5 deadlines really feel easier to anyone who's actually running a business or managing a property? I'm guessing not. So you have to wonder, is there another reason for all this?
And it turns out, yes, there is a very big number involved. HMRC actually expects this MTD system to bring in an extra £780 million in tax revenue. Their logic is that frequent digital reporting will cut down on errors and help close what's known as the UK's tax gap. So let's be clear, this isn't just an admin headache. It's a huge financial move for the government, and it's one that basically shifts the cost of closing that tax gap right onto the shoulders of small businesses.
Okay, so we've covered what it is and why it's happening. Now we get to the most important question of all. Will it actually affect you? Let's get into the key dates and the income levels that you absolutely have to know. But wait, before we do that, there is one absolutely critical definition we need to get straight. The thresholds for MTD are based on your gross income, and this is so important. Gross income is your total income before you take away any of your expenses or allowances. It is not your profit. This means if you have a business with high sales but maybe low profit margins, you could easily get caught by these rules, even if you don't feel like you're a high earner.
Now, this whole thing is being rolled out in stages. Starting in April 2026, it's going to hit anyone with a gross income over £50,000. Just 1 year later, in April 2027, that threshold drops down to £30,000. You can see where this is going, right? The net just keeps getting wider every year, and eventually, pretty much every sole trader and landlord will be pulled into this new system.
And here's a statistic that really drives home the challenge here. About a third of the people who are going to be caught by these new rules don't currently use an accountant. That means hundreds of thousands of people are going to have to navigate this complicated new digital system with all its deadlines completely on their own.
So, after hearing all that, you might be feeling just a little bit stressed, and that's totally understandable, but don't worry. The most important thing is to start preparing now. So let's just walk through a really simple, actionable checklist to get you on the right track.
Right, your first step really depends on your situation. If you already have an accountant, brilliant. Talk to them now. Ask them what their process for MTD is going to be, and, this is a big one, if their fees are going to change. Now, if you don't have an accountant, your first job is to start getting your records digital, like right now, and then start looking into that HMRC-approved software.
And just to be crystal clear, if you're handling this yourself, you have 2 immediate priorities. Number 1, get your records digitized now. Move away from paper or even basic spreadsheets into a proper digital system. Number 2,
You need to go to the go.uk website and look at their list of approved software providers. You have to use one of them to be compliant.
Now, I'm sure there's a question a lot of you are thinking. Is there any way to just, get out of this? Let's take a quick look at the very, very limited options that might be available.
There are really only two paths to potentially avoid this. First, you can check for exemptions. There are a few, but they're for very niche groups, like people who don't have a national insurance number, so that's not going to apply to most people. The other route you could think about is incorporating your business, turning it into a limited company. Companies follow different corporation tax rules, not these new income tax rules.
But, and I cannot stress this enough, this is a huge but. Becoming a limited company is a major, major business decision. It has massive legal and financial consequences. Sure, it might be more tax efficient for you, but it also might not be. This is absolutely not a decision you should take lightly, and definitely not just to avoid some admin. You must speak to an accountant first.
So there we have it. This massive shift to making tax digital is, without a doubt, a huge change for small businesses and landlords across the country. And it really leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? Is this mandatory, digital-first, multi-submission approach the future of tax for everyone in the UK? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.